Hello everyone, welcome once again. Today we are going to study a new chapter of class 10th, that is our environment. So, first of all, what do we mean by environment? Environment means everything which is around us, which surrounds us, is called environment. It could be living or non living components in the environment. Whenever you will see around yourself, you will be able to see a lot of living things and a lot of non living things. So, living includes, they are called biotic components, and non living things, they are called abiotic components of the environment. Biotic components include plants and animals, whereas abiotic component include air, water, soil, etc. Now, environment affect the life and development of an organism in its natural habitat and vice versa. Environment affects the life and development of an organism, and similarly, the life also is responsible for the environment. Substance that can be decomposed by the action of microorganisms like bacteria are called biodegradable. The substances which could be decomposed by bacteria or different organisms, it is called biodegradable waste. And the substances which is not able to decompose, which cannot be decomposed by the action of microorganisms, they are called non-biodegradable. Let's look at some of the examples of biodegradable waste. Cattle dung, cotton, jute, paper, fruit, vegetable peels, leaves, they all are biodegradable waste because they could just decompose by the action of microorganism in the environment. Now, examples of non-biodegradable waste. Non-biodegradable waste examples are plastic, polythene bags, synthetic fibers, metal, radioactive waste, etc. These all are non-biodegradable because they do not get degraded by the action of microorganisms. Now, let's talk about ecosystem and its components. What is ecosystem? All the interacting living organisms in an area together with non-living components form an ecosystem. We have non-living as well as living components in our ecosystem. So, an ecosystem consists of both biotic, which includes living components, and abiotic, which includes non-living component. They both together form ecosystem. They both together form what? Ecosystem. So, examples of biotic component are plants and animals, whereas abiotic components example are temperature, air, water, wind, soil, etc. Now, let's divide ecosystem in different parts. Ecosystem can be man-made ecosystem or natural ecosystem. Natural ecosystem that we use to in our surroundings, for example, aquatic and terrestrial. Terrestrial ecosystem, in this the organisms who are living on land, and aquatic ecosystem includes the organisms who lives in water. It could be marine water or fresh water. If we talk about man-made ecosystem, we can take the example of crop field or aquarium. These all are the man-made ecosystem. In aquarium also, both the living and non-living components live together. So, all living organisms are classified on the basis of nutrition. First one is producer. Producers are those who used to produce food. For example, we can take example of plants. All green plants, blue-green algae, they are having chlorophyll. They used to perform photosynthesis, and photosynthesis is the process by which plants prepare their food. We have studied about photosynthesis in previous chapter, that is life process. So, if you haven't seen that life process chapter, first of all go through it, then you will be able to know about the photosynthesis. So, let's have a quick recap of photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide and water, they react in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll to give starch. Starch is product of the photosynthesis, that is C6H12O6 plus oxygen. These are the bioproducts of photosynthesis, and carbon dioxide and water reacts in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. This reaction is called photosynthesis, and through photosynthesis the plants prepare their food. So they are called producers because they are producing food. Second type is consumer. Consumer includes organisms which are dependent on producers. Just suppose we have talked about autotrophs and heterotrophs in life process. Heterotroph. So autotrophs are those who can prepare their own food. For example, green plants. So they are called producers. We can call them autotroph or producers. Heterotrophs are those who are dependent on others for their food. So we can call them consumer. Heterotrophs could be called as consumer. They used to consume food that is prepared from the plants. So this is consumer. Includes organisms which depend on the producers either directly or indirectly for their sustenance. Now, there are different types of consumers. First one is herbivore. Herbivores are those who eat only green plants, for example, cow and deer. Second type of consumer are carnivores like lion and tiger. They used to eat the flesh of other animals. Third one is parasite. Parasites are those who used to live on the body of the host, and they get nutrition from the host only without harming them. Parasite does not harm the host. It just lives on the body of the host but does not harm it and get the nutrition from the body. Next one is omnivore, who can eat both green plants as well as the flesh of other animals. For example, crow, human beings. These are the example of omnivores. Third type is decomposers. Decomposers like fungi, bacteria, which break down the dead plants. The organisms which feeds on the dead and decaying organic matter is called decomposers. They used to feed on the dead and decaying organic matter. Thus, decomposers help in the replenishment. They also help in cleaning or replenishment. For example, T1, T2 and T3. Grass is producer. After that comes deer, who is consumer. After that comes lion, who is secondary consumer. So producers, primary consumer and secondary consumer. This is how we can identify them. Next one is food chain. It is a sequence of living organisms in which one organism consumes another organisms for energy. It is unidirectional. If we talk about any food chain, you can have look on this. Once the mouse could be eaten by eagle, or mouse eats plants. Plant is eaten by mouse. He can eat up the grains. Plant is eaten by insect. Insect is eaten by frog, and frog is eaten by eagle. Now eagle could eat mouse also, and eagle could eat sparrow also. Sparrow is also eaten by insect. Insect is eaten by sparrow, and sparrow could also be eaten by snake. So this type of nutrition is called food chain. They are interdependent on one another for their energy. In food chain, various steps where transfer of energy takes place is called a trophic level. The green plants capture 1% of sun's energy. The flow of energy is unidirectional. 1% of sun energy is captured by green plants, and the flow of energy is unidirectional in food chain. There is gradual decrease in the amount of energy from one trophic level to the next trophic level. If you goes from one trophic level, from the producer to the consumer, there will be decrease in the energy. If you are having 1000 kilojoule energy here, then only 100 kilojoule will be transferred to the primary consumer. Then similarly, 1/10 of it means 1/10 of the energy is only transferred from one trophic level to another trophic level. So this is all about this chapter. For more details, stay connected to me. Thank you and have a good day.